everyone, Lou here. With this crazy and harsh year of 2020 coming to an end at long fucking last, I thought I'd do something a little different and talk about anime and manga that ended in 2020. These are series that are finally done and over with. While some of these may have unknown prequels or sequels in the future, the main series itself is done with. Alright, roll the intro and let's get started. Now just a friendly reminder, as the title suggests, I will be talking about endings for a lot of anime. I don't want to say what as to not spoil this video, but if you don't want any anime you're watching right now to be spoiled, I don't recommend watching the video. But to those who stay, let's continue. This was a huge anime from last year that blew up all over the damn place. I haven't gotten around to seeing it myself, but I do have some friends who love this anime, and I do quite enjoy a few characters and the attention to detail in the designs and the culture behind them. Pretty good stuff. Now, I don't know the full context for the ending, so I can't say whether or not it's a good or bad ending, but I do think it's very interesting for sure. The war on demons finally ends, Nezuko becomes human again, and everyone just pretty much lives happily ever after. Now what it did that was so special was actually show the great-grandchildren of our main characters and basically pulling a Harry Potter on us in terms of who finally smashed and who didn't. While I think some designs were a little lazy in the sense that for great-grandchildren to look identical to their great-grandparents, unless this is some reincarnation mumbo-jumbo mixed in there too, it's a little silly. Now, like I said, I have not seen Demon Slayer yet, but I do think it's a very cute ending. I've read some people online think this ending is lame or it's too happy, but I mean, considering this entire series is about rooting for our main cast to be happy, then isn't that a good thing? I don't know, I just think it's weird to get mad at happy endings. Point is though, I like the ending, and I'm honestly shocked at how quickly this story wrapped up in a little bow. I'm sure this final chapter is gonna look great once it's fully animated. Now, Attack on Titan has not ended this year in particular, however, it's dangerously close to the finale. It's like waiting for your package to come the second you place an order. The story for Attack on Titan in general has been insane, to say the least. Basically, Eren discovers the origin of the Titans and meets the real Ymir. She lives in a pocket dimension where she basically heals Titan shifters, and we discover that time travel exists in Attack on Titan, sort of. Basically, think of time like the movie Arrival in the sense where you can view the past, but time is a circle where you can't quite change the future, just view the past in the form of a film. At least, I think so, judging by the scenes where Eren and Zeke view their past. Eren speaks with Ymir, who we see suffered the most out of any character in Attack on Titan, and asks her to join his cause and lets her know that she is a free human like anyone else. She agrees, and what's Eren's cause? Genocide! Fun, right? Eren is basically going to kill everyone in the enemy nation in the form of a Titan apocalypse, which is something literally no one fucking wants because we do see that innocent lives do live in this nation. Also, genocide isn't ever the answer. It's currently up to Mikasa, Armin, Jean, Reiner, Levi, and a few others to find a way to stop Eren from killing everyone as they wanted to make peace instead of having everyone be killed. Now, I am giving the biggest gist ever, of course, frankly because this shit's really complicated and there's breadcrumbs that have not been answered yet. To be honest, I contemplated putting this here solely because it's so hard to figure out what the fuck is happening with this manga in the end, but I figure I should just put it here just in case it magically ends like a month after this video is done. Also, Hajime Isayama did post a picture a while ago of the final panel for Attack on Titan, which is Eren holding what I assume is Historia's child, saying they're now free. Whether this is symbolic, Eren lives, or it's just a dream is completely unknown. We also don't know who the real father of Historia's child is, but you know, judging by that final shot and some other panels, I'm gonna assume it definitely wasn't the farm boy. If it is, I will be genuinely shocked. Overall though, Attack on Titan has always surpassed my expectations for the series, and I think it's possible the ending will too. From references to Norse mythology, real-world history, and more, the series has been a wild ride from start to finish, and it's crazy to finally see it end. Innocent Rogue is basically part 2 to a manga called Innocent by Sakamoto Shinichi that I reviewed a long-ass time ago. It's not necessarily a sequel, it's literally just the rest of the story told from a slightly different point of view, because the focus here is not on Charles anymore, it's Marie, her child, and Charles' sons. This manga was brilliant, of course, in its artwork and story as always, though I will say it was still pretty hard to keep up with the story because of the large cast of characters that were constantly being introduced and killed off. It was just weird to have Napoleon there introduce himself like, "Oh hello, I am Napoleon, I am here too." And then there's like a little part of the panel saying what he did after the Revolutionary War. That just seems a little strange to me. One of the worst parts of Marie's torture was that Marie's child, Zero, had to witness their mother get tortured in that way. Yeah, so quick mention, Marie had a child that she named Zero, and they are non-binary, which is kind of cool. You don't get to see that kind of representation in media. So although Zero's appearance is slightly feminine in nature, they were also raised non-binary and has canonically corrected people not to refer to them as a man or woman, as to quote them, "Zero is zero," so just thought I'd throw that in there. To rescue Marie from being executed, especially when Charles cannot emotionally do it, nor can his son, they all devise a plan to save Marie from execution. At this time, historically, Marie Tussaud was a French artist known for her wax sculptures. Her most famous work during this time in her life would be death masks and full-body casts of Louis XVI and Marie Antoinette, which at the time were extremely lifelike. Marie Tussaud would later found the Madame Tussaud Wax Museum that we're all familiar with today. Charles would employ Marie Tussaud, which is the third fucking Marie in this series, to make a wax figure of Marie that would be filled with pig's blood as to make it look to the crowd like Marie was executed. This works, and during the execution, Marie was hidden away on a boat with her family butler and sent off to England, where she'd live the rest of her life. Basically, she was exiled and never saw her brother or child again. At the end, we do get an epilogue. We get historical information about what happened after the revolution. Zero grew up to travel around the world for funsies with bread rolls, and Charles just kinda died a lonely old man who kinda lost his mind by the end of it. As he's dying on the floor of the streets of Paris, his soul is greeted by Marie, and the two finally get to reunite in the great beyond, where they're both finally happy and at peace and free of their bloody destinies. The end. Now keep in mind that I will most likely be wrong about some things. Innocent and Innocent Rogue do not have an official translation as of the making of this video in December 2020, so I have to rely on fan translations. Considering this fandom consists of me and a sticker of the French flag, it's hard to say whether these translations are done by people who are 100% fluent in Japanese or biased translations, so remember to take fan translations with a grain of salt. I think the ending is pretty great though. I would have thought it was okay, but the afterlife reunion between Marie and Charles was just drawn so beautifully that it amped up the ending from okay to amazing. I still highly recommend Innocent and Innocent Rogue, by the way. It has some of the most beautiful artwork I've seen in a manga, and definitely lives up there in my top 10 favorite manga of all time. I wonder if I should make that a video someday. Now here's another manga with an anime I've never seen. I'm personally not a fan of sports anime because I'm not really a sports person. I have exceptions like Free, Yuri on Ice, and eventually Tsurune when I get around to watching it. That's basically because swimming, figure skating, and archery are my favorite sports, while basketball and volleyball, not really my thing. Though I thought it was fascinating that this series ran for as long as it did, because I can tell this series does dive into their characters a lot more than something like Free or other sports anime do. Also, you know, rivals aren't basically a big meanie who learns not to be a big meanie, I think. Anyway, the manga ends with an epilogue basically showing that a lot of the cast didn't choose to continue a career in volleyball, which I like. I mean, not every baseball player in high school is gonna grow up to be a professional player. For some, it was just the fun, and in a manga like this, a way to let out pent-up teenage frustration because allegories, I guess. Our main character and his rival go on to become professional volleyball players, even competing in the 2021 Tokyo Olympics, where our underdog lead manages to win the power of friendship and teamwork. I think that's a wholesome ending. It's actually kind of similar to Free's initial ending with Eternal Summer, before they decided to make 100 sequels and prequels that really weren't at all necessary. Now, I've seen some people say the ending is a little rushed solely because it gives a huge TLDR for what happened to all the characters, but considering how large the cast of characters is, I think that's fine. Honestly, I think the ending is pretty alright. I'm not interested in watching Haikyuu due to my disinterest in volleyball, so feel free to let me know what you guys think down below. This manga actually ended relatively quickly. I was honestly shocked. Perhaps it's because I come from a generation where manga had a tendency to go on for basically eternity. I mean, that's the Promised Neverland for you. Even its run completely shocked my expectations. Now, a lot happens, of course. The kids explore the outside world, learn about the world of demons. We see that not all demons enjoy eating humans as food. Demons need a lot of food to gain intelligence equal to a human, and even a cure for that, so demons can actually survive now without eating any humans. As crazy as it sounds, Emma and Norman make their way to the God of Demons, where we learn the origin of why humans are placed here in this demon world. It turns out the world is divided in two, one with the demons and one with the humans. Humans can enter and exit to deliver supplies to the human farms and factories, but can leave, obviously. Emma decides to create a new promise as to prevent this world where children are used as food and met with horrifically cruel ends like Connie, or have to sacrifice their emotions to live an actually long life like Isabella. This new deal is to bring every single human to the world and close the border that would allow a single human back into this world. Basically, fully separate the world of demons and humans, with no more sacrifices to be made on either side. The demon god is a neutral character to all of this and accepts her deal, though on one condition. Emma has to sacrifice her memories of everyone and everything, including her own name. These memories also have no chance of coming back ever again. As Emma is such a selfless person, she agrees to it. Honestly, I think most of us would agree to it. If one person has to sacrifice their memories to make sure your friends, family, and other innocent lives don't die and become demon food, I mean, that's a pretty sweet deal. It's sad, of course, but hey, it's better than Emma dying. Though she would keep it a secret from everyone because she didn't want to argue about it with them. She just shrugged it off and told them all that she'd tell them later about what she actually gave to the demon god. That's when all the humans in the demon world were finally ported to the human world. The next part is just a smidge disappointing because I feel like this would have been a great arc in itself, but the main cast ends up in New York while Emma was thrown off to an unknown area. Now this takes place in the future, so I can't figure out what season it is when this happens, so I'll have you guys guess where Emma ends up. They all end up here and realize Emma is missing, so the kids work together with the now reformed Ratry clan to help find Emma and all live a normal life. It's a shame this was skimmed over so much because I would have loved to have seen this really interesting arc that showed the kids adjusting to their lives in the world of humans instead of not being so on edge now that they don't have to fight for their lives. Though we do get a taste of what the human world is like. Basically, after countless wars and pandemics, the world decided to unify itself under one giant country and are now based in districts like the Hunger Games in a sense. Though it's not actually bad though. Sure, shit is still shady with the people allowing the children and farms and all that, but it all seems surprisingly peaceful and well established. Though many will consider this kind of world a bad thing, remember that the Promised Neverland is all about unity, and it's about bringing everyone together even if they aren't biologically related to you, and treating each other like family. Considering the themes, it's not a bad idea. However, Emma wakes up in this place and is found by a nice old Santa-looking man. He asks Emma about where she came from, her name, and more, but she doesn't remember it at all. It's like she's a blank slate. But the old man feels really bad to see this kid with no one and no memories, so he takes her in as his own. A few years pass, and the kids are now full-on teenagers where they finally reunite with Emma. While many other stories would have had her regain her memories, thus all of this was pointless, she doesn't. She's scared and unsure why the fuck like 40 fucking kids are all excited to see her for no reason, while she was just waiting for her adoptive father to come back out from the store. They play catch up with her and try to jog some memories, but it doesn't do anything. And it's something that not a lot of series with amnesia subplots do, and that's accept the amnesia. Usually in stories like this, it's a whole other battle to get the memories back, but in this case, Ray and the others fully accept that Emma not remembering them is fine, because now they can create new memories with her in this world where they can all be happy and free. Although Emma will never remember her past, her heart doesn't forget the feelings she carries for her siblings, so she happily accepts that, and they all decide to be happy together and free with new memories ahead in a new world. The end. Honestly, I really like this ending. I saw a lot of people get upset that Emma had to sacrifice her memories, but honestly, that's kind of the best outcome you could ask for in a series like this. If anything, it's nothing in comparison to what she's asking. I mean, this series could have kicked us all in the heart with spiky cleats, just to straight up kill Emma, but instead it did something bittersweet, and I love that. I will agree that though the last 2 chapters do feel rushed, but I guess it was about the journey and not so much the destination, I guess. So I'm not mad or bothered by the fact that we don't see them fully adjust to this new world. Overall, I think this is a really great ending, though there is a bonus chapter that's just a manga version of a short novella just explaining Ray's backstory. It's a nice little whipped cream on top to anyone who wanted a little more Ray angst before the end. That's it for this video though. I hope this was an interesting one. I thought this would be a lot more unique, especially when this year kind of fucked up the release and development for a lot of anime I was actually interested in seeing this year, so why not talk about some stuff that got to end normally? Let me know down below what you think. Are you sad any of these came to an end? Did you think any of these ended badly? Let me know down below. Hey guys, thanks for watching! If you liked the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing if you're new. And if any older new subs would like to help support the channel in any possible way, my Ko-fi page is down below in the description along with all of my social media. For any subscribers, new or old, who would like to help with video ideas or maybe just want to talk about anime or something, then I have a fan server linked down below. See you next time!